In the previous class, we have seen the electric field intensity due to a system of charges, or we can say it's due to several point charges. Using this principle of superposition, we have found the electric field intensity due to that. Then we have also seen the electric field due to continuous volume charge distribution, right? The electric field due to continuous volume charge distribution by taking a differential volume and finding the electric field intensity due to that differential volume at a particular point. Then we have integrated that electric field intensity with respect to volume. Then we have obtained the electric field intensity through the entire volume, right? So we have seen that thing in the previous class. So the same principle we can apply to surface charge as well as line charge to obtain the electric field intensity due to surface charge distribution and line charge distribution. So we can do that by applying the same principle, that is by taking a differential surface and differential length in case of surface and line charge, then integrating it over entire surface and entire length, right? So that way we can obtain the electric field intensity of any kind of charge distributions. So today we will see the surface charge and line charge distribution. Field due to surface charge distribution. So consider there is a surface, okay, a surface of the total surface area is S, okay, total surface area of that particular surface, if you consider as S, okay, total surface area, if you consider as S, then the charge contained on over that surface will be Q, okay, total charge will be Q. So same thing, consider charges are spread in an extremely thin layer. If the layer is very thin, you can consider that as a surface charge. Okay, practically what we see in nature is only volume charges. Okay, so whatever charge, they are in space, so they are volume charges. But if we consider a very thin layer, you can consider that as a surface charge. So let Q be the total charge contained on this particular surface, that is S. So what we will take is a very small surface element, okay, very small surface element ds. Okay, consider a differential charge dq on the differential surface ds. Suppose this is a very small surface, as you can see here, a very small surface. If ds is the differential surface element, if ds is this ds is written here, if that is the differential surface, then the charge contained in that surface is dq, that is the differential charge dq. Okay, that's the differential charge dq. So the charge density, just like we have volume charge density, in case of surface we have surface charge density. The surface charge density is given by rho s, okay, that is rho s, that is charge divided by surface. Here the charge is dq, surface area is ds. The unit for surface charge density is coulombs per meter square, because it is charge divided by area. Charge unit is coulomb, area unit is square meters, so the unit is coulombs per meter square. Okay, so this is the surface charge density of this particular surface charge distribution. Then we know we are interested to find the electric field intensity at this particular point P because of this charge dq. That dq, it's a small charge or differential charge. It can be considered as a point charge. Okay, so that is given by dE, that is equal to dq divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar cap. So if you consider this distance as r, okay, then the unit vector in this direction is ar. Then yeah, this unit vector is ar, then that is given by dq divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar cap. Okay, so this electric field intensity is actually the differential electric field intensity due to the differential surface ds. Okay, differential surface ds, which has the charge of dq. Now the entire electric field intensity, it can be obtained by integrating this. So before that, what is this dq in terms of ds? It can be written as rho s into ds, right? Dq will be rho s into ds. So I can write from that equation as dq is rho s into ds. So substituting this equation in the previous in the previous equation, dq is rho s into ds. In this equation, we get dE is rho s ds divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar cap, right? So this is the electric field intensity due to the elemental charge or the differential charge dq. To get the electric field intensity due to entire surface charge, so we are going to integrate this. We are going to integrate this over the surface, okay, with respect to the surface ds. So if you integrate this on the both sides, integration with respect to E, that is equal to integration of rho s ds divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into AR cap, whatever you have here. Now you can keep this 1 by 4 pi epsilon outside. So E differentiation and integration, they get cancelled out. So what you get is E, the entire electric field intensity due to entire surface charges, this thing, 1 by 4 pi epsilon into integration of rho s ds r divided by r square into AR cap. So this, whatever we have seen, the elemental volume or differential volume element, differential surface element, differential line, or the differential lengths in the revision of vector calculus, they are used here. Okay, when you substitute this ds with respect to the different coordinate systems, depending on the coordinate systems, we are supposed to substitute those values of ds or dv in the previous case. Right. So this is the expression for electric field intensity due to a surface charge distribution with charge density rho s. Okay, at any point P, which is at a distance of r. Okay, which is at a distance of r from that particular surface charge. Right. On the similar grounds, you can find the electric field intensity due to a line charge distribution. Okay, due to a line charge distribution, you consider there is a line. Okay, consider there is a line of certain length over which the charge is distributed linearly on a single line. Okay, so then, yeah, consider charges are distributed over a thin wire. A thin wire, it can be considered as a line charge. So we are interested to find the electric field intensity due to the entire line. But before that, what we will do is we will take a very small differential length dl, which has differential charge dq. Okay, we will find the electric field intensity at a point P, which is at a distance of r from this point dq. So let q be the total charge. The total charge on the line is q. The length is L. Okay, the total entire length is L, from minus L by 2 to L by 2. If it's centered around the origin, it will be total length is L. So you consider a small or differential charge dq of the differential length dl. So line charge density, line charge density, you can call it rho L. Okay, rho L, that is charge divided by length. Okay, charge divided by the length, that is dq by dl. The unit for line charge density is coulombs per meter. Okay, because the unit for charge is coulombs, for length it is meter. So unit for line charge density is coulombs per meter. Then considering this dq as a point charge, you can say the differential electric field intensity at the point P due to this dq, which is a distance of r from this point P, we can write it as dE, that is equal to dq divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into AR cap. It's the same equation. Now this dq you have to express in terms of line charge density, as dq is rho L into dl. So substitute that rho L into dl in this equation. Okay, dq is rho L into dl. If you put that here in place of dq, you can write rho L into dl, right? So this will give you the electric field intensity due to differential charge. Okay, differential charge. If you want to find electric field intensity of the entire line charge, integrate this with respect to length. Okay, dl. So integrating, we get this integration and differentiation, they get cancelled. So what we have is E, that is equal to, you can keep this 1 by 4 pi epsilon outside, so you get this. Okay, so this is the expression for electric field intensity due to a line charge. Fine, due to a line charge of charge density rho L coulombs per meter. Fine. So we have seen electric field intensity due to a surface charge, volume charge, and also a line charge. So next important thing we have is to get an expression for the electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. Okay, electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. So this is a very important topic, even from the point of view of examination. So what we will do, before we go for infinite line charge, first we will consider the line or line charge to be of finite length. Okay, so we will consider it to be of finite length, say L. right? So then we will apply the limits as L tends to infinity, then we will get the electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. Okay, so first, as I said, we will consider a line charge of finite length L, which is placed along the z axis of a cylindrical coordinate system. So whenever we have a line charge, we normally consider cylindrical coordinate system because a line is line exhibits cylindrical symmetry, right? Line exhibits cylindrical symmetry. So suppose this is the z-axis and this is the origin. Okay, so this is the z-axis and this is the origin. You consider a line of finite length L, which is placed in symmetry with respect to the origin. So let this be the line. Let this be the line. Whatever you're seeing in blue, that is the line of length L. Okay, so this is the line of length L. So what we have is we are placing it symmetrically with respect to origin. That means if the total length is L, in the positive z-axis it is at a coordinate L by 2, negative z-axis it is minus L by 2. Okay, so this is the line charge L of finite length L. So what we are trying to find is we want to get the electric field intensity due to this line charge at some point P. So to do that, first we will consider two elemental lengths or differential lengths dz. Okay, two differential lengths of this line that are symmetrical about the origin. So one small length on the positive z-axis, one small length on the negative z-axis. Okay, so both are same lengths dz. Fine. So let the charges associated with those lengths be dq. So to differentiate, I mean to identify them, on the positive z-axis we will take dq, on the negative z-axis we will take dq dash. So when it is a line charge, it will be rho L multiplied by dz, right? dq will be rho L into dz. That's what we have seen in the previous case, because rho L is equal to charge divided by the length. The length in this case is dz. So dq will be rho L into dz. Similarly, dq dash will also be rho L into dz. That is because the charge density of this line is rho L. Okay, we have considered the charge density of this line charge is rho L. So now we are interested to find the electric field intensity at this particular point P. So consider this point P. Then the electric field intensity due to these elemental charges, dq and dq dash, let them be dE1 and dE2. So there will be two electric field intensities. One is dE1, the other one is dE2. dE1 is because of dq, dE2 is because of dq dash. So this dE1 is because of this point charge dq, and dE2 is because of dq dash. So what happens in this case? Yeah, so this distance from the z-axis to the point P, the radial distance is rho, and the distance of the point P from these elemental charges, that is capital R. Okay, distance of point P from these elemental charges are capital R in each case. Since they are symmetrical, both the distances are same, that is capital R. Now, there is one interesting thing here. What happens since they are symmetrical, dE1 and dE2, they are symmetrical with respect to the origin here. So what will be the equivalent length? So when you have such kind of things, whenever there are this kind of vectors, okay, so what happens is, since they are symmetrical, the vertical components, they get cancelled, and the horizontal or the radial components in this case, they get added up. So this is the resultant vector, that is dE, that is equal to dE1 plus dE2. So what is this vertical and horizontal components? For example, suppose this is angle alpha. Okay, so we will consider, suppose there is a vector. Okay, suppose there is a vector, some vector A. Okay, or some vector A. So with respect to the horizontal axis, okay, with respect to the horizontal axis, it will make an angle. It will make an angle, say theta. Okay, it will make an angle theta. So what happens is, this vector, it will have its vertical and horizontal components. Any vector will have its vertical and horizontal component, that is obtained by dropping a perpendicular to both the axes. If it is horizontal axis, the length from here to here, that is the horizontal component. If you take the vertical axis here, okay, if you take the vertical axis, if you drop a perpendicular, this length is called the vertical component. Okay, so what is the horizontal component? Horizontal component is nothing but a cos theta, and vertical component will be a sin theta. Okay, so in this case, this vector is this vector is de1. Its vertical component will be in this direction. Okay, its vertical component is in this direction, and the vertical component of de2 will be in the top. They will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, so they get cancelled out. Okay, they will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, so they are cancelling each other, whereas the horizontal components, they will be in this direction. Horizontal components will be in this direction for both, right? So they get added up, and they get doubled, right? So that horizontal component in this case will be de1 cos alpha. Okay, the horizontal component is de1 cos alpha, because the angle is alpha in this case. Similarly, for DE2 also, it is DE2 cos alpha. So what we observe is the total electric field intensity at P will then be DE1 cos alpha plus DE2 cos alpha. Okay, the sine alpha components get cancelled because they are opposite in direction and equal in magnitude. So this DE1 and DE2, the expressions for DE1 and DE2, they can be obtained by using the expressions for electric field intensity due to these point charges dq and dq dash. DE1 is because of this charge dq, DE2 is because of this charge dq dash. So using the expression for electric field intensity, if the charge is dq, okay, the electric field intensity is given by dq by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar cap. So here this DE1 and DE2, they are because of dq and dq dash. So the same thing, this equation we can write as DE1 is, in place of DE1 I will write this dq divided by 4 pi epsilon r square, cos alpha remains as it is, plus in place of DE2, this is because of this charge dq dash, that's why I will write this dq dash divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into cos alpha. And what is the direction of the DE? The direction of DE is the radial direction in the direction of rho. Okay, in the direction of rho. That's why I will replace this unit vector with a rho cap. As this is cylindrical coordinate system, the radial direction is nothing but a rho. Okay, electric field intensity, the resultant electric field intensity is in the direction that is radial, a rho. What happens is we will substitute dq and dq dash. Dq is rho l into dz. Dq dash is also rho l into dz. I have substituted that. What happens? These are both are same terms. So we can write it as 2 times of rho l into dz divided by 4 pi epsilon r square cos alpha. Right? 2 times of that, right? 2 into rho l dz divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. So I can cancel this term. 2 ones are 2 twos are, right? So this becomes rho l dz divided by 2 pi epsilon r square into cos alpha. And a rho cap is the direction. Now, from this figure, what is cos of this angle? What is cos of this angle? The cos alpha, okay, cos alpha is given by, so the length from here to here, you can take this as z. Okay, the length from here to here is z. Similarly, the length from here to here is also z. So cos alpha is given as rho by r. Cos alpha is adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, that is rho divided by r, right? Cos alpha is rho by r. And what is this r? This is a right angle triangle. R is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. So using your Pythagoras theorem, you can write r is square root of rho square plus z square, right? This length r is square root of rho square plus z square, considering this right angled triangle. So substituting this, cos alpha is rho by r and r is square root of rho square plus z square in this equation number 2, what you get is, yeah, in place of r, I have written square root of rho square plus z square whole square into cos alpha. Cos alpha is rho divided by r. Now again there is r here, right? Again I substitute this rho square plus z square in place of r. If I put this rho square plus z square, So we will get this, right? So rho divided by square root of rho square plus z square. So what you can see in the denominator, we have square root of rho square plus z square whole square into square root of rho square plus z square. So what is the root? What is the total power of square root of rho square plus z square? Rho square plus z square whole raised to 1 by 2. This is square root of rho square plus z square whole square. What do you get? Root of rho square plus z square whole square is square root and square. They get cancelled, right? So it is rho square plus z square to the power of 1. This is power of 1 by 2. So what you finally obtain is 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2. Yeah, 3 by 2 is right. So what you finally obtain is rho square plus z square whole raised to 3 by 2, right? So rho square plus z square whole raised to 3 by 2 and arrow cap. So this is the electric field intensity at this particular point P due to two elemental lengths which are symmetrical about the origin. Okay, now we want to find electric field intensity due to the entire line, okay, entire line charge. So how we can do that? We have to integrate it. So when we are going to integrate, now we need to consider only one half of this length, because we have considered, when we have considered one elemental charge in a positive z axis, we have considered a symmetrical charge in negative z axis also, right? For every charge that you take on positive z axis, we have already considered equivalent charge in the negative z axis. So while we are integrating, we have to integrate only for the positive axis, so that the expression will include the electric field intensity due to the point charge on the negative z axis also. So if you want to find the electric field intensity due to charge of length L, instead of integrating from minus L by 2 to L by 2, we will integrate it from 0 to L by 2, because that includes the effect of equivalent charges on the negative z axis, that is from 0 to minus L by 2 also, right? So if you integrate this from 0 to L by 2, we will get electric field intensity due to a line charge of finite length L. Okay, finite length L. So if you are integrating this from 0 to L by 2, so we will get this. So this term integration of dE will be E. So the unrelated terms to dz, I can keep them outside. Rho L and rho divided by 2 pi epsilon into integration of dz by this term, rho square plus z square whole raised to 3 by 2 from 0 to L by 2. So how do you integrate this? To integrate this, we will make use of a standard integral. Okay, so we will make use of a standard integral, the same term I have written here. We will make use of the standard integral. That is integration of dx divided by a square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2 is x divided by a square into square root of a square plus x square. In our case, what is x? X is z in this case, and a is equal to rho, right? So what will be this integral then? It is z divided by rho square into square root of rho square plus z square, right? Z divided by rho square into square root of rho square plus z square. So this term we will substitute here. Okay, so if you do that, you will get this z divided by rho square into square root of rho square plus z square, and the limits are from 0 to L by 2. Okay, limits are from 0 to L by 2. So if you substitute L by 2 as the limit, you get this L by 2 rho square into square root of rho square plus L by 2 the whole square. If you put 0, the term becomes 0, so I have not put that. Okay, so this, if you try to simplify, you'll get this. Yeah, the previous case we had is right. L by 2 whole square, we can write it as L square by 4, and L by 2 in the numerator, I can write that 2 in the denominator, so I will get it here. So in the square root, we have rho square plus L square by 4. So if I find the denominator, if I take the denominator as 4, okay, so this term will become 4 rho square plus L square. Here you have 2. In the square root, we have 4 in the denominator, so that 2 and this 2 in the denominator will get cancelled, right? So what remains is L divided by square root of 4 rho square plus L square into AR cap. So this is the electric field intensity due to this line charge of finite length L. Okay, this is electric field intensity due to a line charge of finite length L. Now, if you want to find the electric field intensity of a line charge which is of infinite length, that is from minus infinity to plus infinity. So if you take the limits of L tends to infinity, you will get the electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. So how to apply the limits? So if you want to take the limits as L tends to infinity, applying the limits, this L in the numerator, if I write in the denominator, that will become 1 by L. If I take it inside the square root, it will become L square, right? Then if I simplify, you know, 4 rho square by L square plus L square by L square. L square by L square is 1, so I'll get this. Now if I apply the limits, L square is infinity. Anything by infinity is 0, right? 0 plus 1 is 1. So 1 divided by root 1 is 1, right? That means if you apply limits to this particular term as L tends to infinity, this term becomes 1, right? If this term becomes 1, what's that in the previous slide? Yeah. If this term becomes 1, then what happens to our electric field intensity? It is simply rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon rho into A rho cap. That is when the length is infinite. Okay, so that is when you consider the length is infinite. So that is what it becomes, equation 5 or whatever, that becomes as simple as this: rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon rho into A rho cap. So what we have to consider here is rho L is the line charge density of this line charge distribution. Rho is the distance of the point where you're calculating the electric field intensity from the line charge. Okay. And epsilon, we have considered it as a general medium. If you consider it as free space or vacuum, epsilon will be equal to epsilon naught. Okay. So this is the electric field intensity due to an infinite line charge. The units again is volts per meter. So this is a very important question from the point of view of examination. So I want you to write this down. Okay, write this down and submit this in Google Classroom today. Tomorrow we will see the electric field intensity due to an infinite sheet of charge based on the same principle. You try to do it based on this. So here what we have considered is, we have considered a line, then we have considered a differential length which is equivalent to a point charge. So we have taken the electric field intensity due to a point charge, then integrated over the entire line, we get the electric field intensity due to a line charge. When we consider a surface charge or a sheet of charge, we will consider line charge. Okay, a surface is nothing but collection of lines, right? If lines are arranged in a proper manner, you get a surface or a sheet of charge. So you take a line charge, integrate it over the surface. Okay, so you will get the electric field intensity due to a surface charge or infinite sheet of charge. Fine. So you try to do that, or else I will complete that in the next class.